Okay, I love them. This is Front Page Africa live from the residence of the national chairman of the former ruling National Patriotic Party, Anthony George Sylvester Mulbah. I'm at his Banga residence, and he will be weighing in on a couple of issues, including the detention of 4 representatives by the Liberia National Police, including former House Speaker Cllr Fonati Koffa, and the brutality of the chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change, by the Liberia National Police. So I'd like to say welcome to Front Page Africa. It has been long.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, and say welcome here.
Yeah, from Friday up to Saturday, Monrovia has been tense. Taking into account the appearance and subsequent detention of 4 lawmakers, including the former Speaker of the House of Representatives. And on Saturday, we saw the police brutality on the chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change, and I know you would like to weigh in on those issues because it has really claimed the attention of the entire country.
Well, thank you very much for coming. The National Patriotic Party intend to issue a very strong statement, formal statement on all of those issues. But let me firstly say that yes, we are keenly following what is happening in Monrovia. I left from Monrovia since last Saturday. I'm going through a murder trial here at the non-judicial circuit court, so not being able to go to town frequently because it's a jury trial. But let it be noted that first, the arson attack on the Capitol building is the most heinous crime in recent time that was committed against the state. The most heinous crime that was committed against the state, and everyone must take that into consideration. And the government has a responsibility to ensure that all those connected with such actions, directly or indirectly, or by means of conspiring, to bring everyone to justice. And we believe from the National Patriotic Party that the onus is on the government to ensure that those who bear the greater responsibility of burning the sacred chamber or the political theater of the country or the democratic theater of the country, those people must be made to account for their actions. I do know that on a criminal prosecution, government will not follow you, will not follow because they want to recover, but to punish you to serve as a deterrent. So, having said that, our justice system in this country, our criminal justice system, starts with the police. So, by the police inviting members of the legislature who the police feel strongly that they may have evidence of their involvement, it's the beginning of the justice system. But what we don't intend to see happening is that to see the government exploiting the situation to get an individual who had no business of being connected to said action.
But if they exploit, what do you mean by that?
What I'm saying is that we want government to ensure that free and fair trial is held for all those suspected or involvement in the commission of this crime. And another thing I'd like to say here is that nobody is immune under the law to stand trial if there's a link, there's an established link that you are involved with the commission of a crime in this country. No one's immune from standing trial, except the president under our constitution is immune from standing trial while in office. So now I see the only thing I would advise is that government must ensure that the right of these defendants are keenly their right prevail under the criminal procedure law, the right to right. If under the Constitution, the right to bail.
One of those things that has attracted backlash is the release of the representative Fonati Koffa, she from the Unity Party, that she was released to all lawyers while the other people were detained by the government. So it has raised eyebrows that the case has become political. Do you agree with that the case has become political?
If you read the criminal procedure laws, section 3.1, it states when there is when the proof is not evident and presumption is not great, the defendant has a right to be admitted to bail, even though it may be a crime. Coming.
No, but initially,
yes,
every one of them were charged for similar offenses.
This is what I'm telling you. It is at the discretion of the judge after reviewing the various evidence produced against them. The judge could perhaps look at the evidence and realize that proof is not evident and presumption is not great, and decide to grant house a personal reconnaissance. That is a square discretion of the judge. And again, it could even be the discretion of the judge to decide on his own to ensure that all of the people's lawyers sound for them. Okay,
and that's why it's raising question because
all of them are not flat rate.
Yes,
under the law, a flat rate meaning somebody who can easily run away. I don't think all of them are flat rate. But like I said to you, under 13.1 of the criminal procedure law, the judge may have used the discretion, perhaps because of the principle of law, which said that when the proof is not evident and presumption is not great. So perhaps that on the basis of that, the judge used that discretion.
Well, so would you agree with others who think that the case is political?
This case is not political.
Why you say so?
This case is border on trying to ensure that a criminal conduct exhibited on that December 18th by burning the Capitol building is being investigated, and those responsible should bear clear responsibility of it. That's what this case is. It's not a question of somebody insulted the president or somebody threatening that they will do this, or they want to step on the interest of the president, or maybe try to say as a popular candidate, getting in order to raid by way of detaining them. No, let's get this clear.
No, that's why the opposition is saying that this case is meant to silence the opposition, most especially the Congress for Democratic Change.
So what will happen tomorrow if any members of the National Patriotic Party get and burn the Minister of Finance, and the government decide a lot, it would go after that person. Then people will say that it's political. Is that what our country should reduce though? No. No. What I do know that happening, I'm very much fed up is the excessive use of force. And I also want to let the government, we are hoping that the constitutional provision, Article 21D, subsection 2, we speak against excessive bail, will be guarded, the trial will be guarded by that, because as a matter of fact, these defendant or these suspect or these defendant don't have the capability or capacity to own 16 million property, because if you are charged for $8 million, you need to double that. You need to bring a bond that will double that amount. So in this case, the government, the court must consider Article 21D, Section 2, which prohibit excessive bail. So
but you were the one who was talking about. You were the one who was just talking about description. So in case the court in this regard,
it is also the discretion of the judge. Look, the reason why he offer bond is to guarantee your appearance in court. So if the judge strongly feel that, look, this man cannot run away, the judge can use personal reconnaissance. It is in the law. It's in the law. personal reconnaissance. If you commit an offense and the offense, the tribal offense, before a court, the judge in that court can grant you personal reconnaissance based on the fact that he knows Samuel Lomari cannot escape or he's not flat race. So all and this is it is not discretionary. It is by law, but that discretion is used by the judge based on the individual who's standing trial. And I guess none of the guys would want to escape the country because the whole prestigious position and like I said, it is the discretion of the judge.
And the the decision of the police to allow Representative Marvin Cole off the hook and that of Francis Foucault, because initially the ruling party folks were attributing his statement made to the capital of Saga and that of Marvin Cole's was that that the NPP at the time was prepared for war. Why you think in your red manner the police may have used to have exonerated these two individuals?
This is a clearly indicate to you that there was complete thorough investigation. First, they may have probable cause. When the police as the police at the first instance of investigation in a criminal case, they will obtain all of the evidence being provided. They look at the crime scene. They look at they will look at the communication link. They will look at your look at the various material evidence and look at it. When there's no clarity that you were not involved and no way to link you, definitely you'll be free. So Representative Cole's statement that Liberia, like you said, like you just mentioned, does not cannot in any way prove Representative Cole's involvement in the burning of the Capitol building if you don't have any evidence linking him. Number two, the statement of Safoko was done almost I'm sure more than 3 or 4 months before that incident. So for that statement to corroborate with the commission of the crime, you must have an evidence to prove that. So the fact that the police did not see any link, the police they invited them, they were suspects, and there was no probable cause to hold them, and this is why they did not hold them. But now that the five, I think there are the 5 defendants, they may have suspected of being involved based on pieces of evidence that in their possession put together. They presented it to the court, and this presented to the court through the grand jury. The grand jury will review all of the evidence, and if there's a probable cause, the grand jury will return a true bill. The true bill is that yes, the people will show that the people committed a crime. Okay, then if there's no cause, they will return bill of ignoramus, meaning they never committed any crime. So there's no way to indict them and to draw the indictment. What happened now is that the police has sent a matter before the
Court.
The court. It is a right of the defendant to ask for preliminary where the judge will examine, the magistrate will examine whether there's a real reason to hold the people. And at that point, during preliminary, it is the responsibility of the state to present all of the pieces of evidence to the magistrate. The magistrate could dismiss the case against them if the magistrate is so convinced that this man did not commit any crime. But in a process, if the state obtain a true bill and draw the indictment, the issue of whole preliminary will become moot. So we to answer your question, the reason they released those people was there was no probable cause to hold them responsible for what happened.
Okay, so yesterday also we witnessed the manhandling of the chairman of the CDC.
But that was
Even though he raised his hand up
Yeah, I mean, that was very bad. It is.
But police say, listen to Nelson Freeman that he was obstructing traffic.
Yeah, if the man obstructed traffic, there's a way to get him off from there. Asking, sir, will you leave? But they were not. But the man put him off. At that point, police just needed to say, sir, please leave the place here. But to the political leaders, the man who had one of the biggest opposition in the country, you brutalize him and tie him and handcuff him, threw him in the back of a pickup. That was very much. It was.
But Nelson Freeman said, if a former chief justice can go to court and jail, then what's about just a party chairman?
No, the acknowledge cannot work in this case. The former chief justice was never bundled. The former chief justice was invited to the police station. She sat down, explained her side of the story, and she went through the preliminary, and she was served the indictment. Okay, but and the former chief justice was charged with an offense with the crime of committing murder. Can you compare those two actions? Uh, 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 Anthony Jangako has gone. I didn't see the street, but I saw the police brutalizing him. I mean, that was not proper, and we do not support that. In our new dispensation, you cannot get an aggressive police. The police must exercise restraint. And by the way, we think there should be a further investigation. Why the police should do what they did to the fellow. The deputy director of police for operations, the lawyer, he is a counselor of law, and he needed to know the limit of the limit.
Maybe he may have acted within the confines of the law.
There's no way in the law states that if a citizen is caught obstructing traffic, you will grab him and beat him and cuff him and throw him at the back of the pickup, especially men of his standing. That's not right.
So if you,
no, I don't support the people using sentiment when an issue of this nature, like people are involved in, people are accused with issue bordering on law, we might get chance to the court or the police to investigate. But the tendency of trying to shield people who are alleged accused by way of putting people in the street unnecessarily, I don't support that. But that was not the way for the police to conduct itself against the chairman of the CDC. That was wrong.
So if you were former President George Weah, in this case now, what would you do? Would you lead a protest, a sustained protest, or would you? I'm saying if you were former President George Weah now, where all your supporters are looking up to you.
What do you intend to achieve from protest? First, you must ask yourself a question. What do you intend to achieve from that?
Maybe to pressure the government.
What happened to Jangako? He can able to sue the government for damages. Then they will say you want to go in the street for protest. Okay, because the evidence is clearing that he was not an offender. Okay, he put a hand out. Somebody ran to him, put him in the back of the pickup. So why are you going in the street to go demonstrate? Why? So to destroy property? I think if our George Weah, like you asked me, I wouldn't bow to that suggestion. What I would try to do is I would firstly officially complain to the government, because the police if the police acted disorderly, the superior authority had the power to discipline them by either dismissing whosoever gave that order or by either punishing whosoever gave that order. But for one to say,
how you expect the police to investigate itself when the order was reportedly given by Nelson Freeman?
No, listen. I said you have. I said firstly, if the CDC, what they did to a chairperson, the alternate response is not to go to a mass protest. you can revert to the court if you want to. If you don't want to go to the court, you take a political action by communicating with the legislature. You have people in the legislature. Let the matter go before, especially the Senate. Let the matter go before the legislature. And you also have the right to ensure that you write the president officially, request for investigation. Okay? The president could say, okay, the president, for example, if the president says, you go and we don't want a demonstration, but that does not in any way give you the right to do brutality. You understand? To do brutality. To say, to answer your question, if I was wrong with you suggest that to me, I wouldn't tell you what you're doing it. What you tell it to?
Although, why would you do? If we are former president, we are.
I said I will not accept that. I will not accept that suggestion.
What would you do?
The first thing, like I just said to you, I will formally communicate with the government at a higher level. This is the president. Okay, you have the right to communicate with the president, with the sitting president. If you cannot do it,
but you think the former president will take it serious or any some
put him on record.
Someone said to ask you, please ask your guests to explain about the listening about the entire incident of the first and second fire incident. What about the conclusion? What during the police and the expert being brought to the country. So the person is asking me to ask you, you think the police may have relied on those information?
This is why I told you that for the police to begin to charge people, it means that they have to their disposal evidence linking people. Firstly, what did the expert come to determine? To determine whether that was an arson. Arson where you intentionally go and bring something. Or if a fire incident occur by itself, that expert investigator will tell you whether the fire incident was something that was accidental. And the extra information will tell you whether the incident was something that was being done by human action. You understand? So I'm of the belief that if there was extra brought in the country, that expert may have informed the police that yes, action was committed. That meaning somebody burned the building.
So is there anything that you want to stress that we didn't say anything that we didn't touch on?
What all I can say from the end of the National Patriotic Party, we want the government to exercise restraint, especially the excessive use of force by the police must be brought under control. This is not a police state. This is a democratic institution, a democratic state. If there's anything going on, the police authorized to go and put it under control. It's not to use excessive force. You must use guided force that would exacerbate the situation. Take for example, nobody the arrest of General Code, the brutalization of General Code is trying to overshadow the entire issues that is on investigation. Because like Brown quit the bad sympathy to our own detriment. A major issue here is the burning of the Capitol building. That is a worst crime committed against the state. And everybody here, including your little child walking in the street, that is a crime that was committed against them. Those who bear greater responsibility must be able to give account. And how crime are committed? People conspire on the new penal law. When conspiracy theory comes to order, for example, you may not be at the scene of the crime. I can sit here and conspire with people to commit crime in Monrovia by way of telephone, by way of message. I said, look, go to 16th Street at that point, do this there. When that concession is reached between the perpetrator and I, meaning I bear greater responsibility. Why do you think Mr. Taylor is in jail?
Are you sensing this in a fire incident?
Why would the ordinary people that have no business in the Capitol building will enter the open fire?
Are you sensing that it was a conspiracy?
There was a conspiracy, and the conspiracy must be investigated. I think you as a lawyer.
Do you have the proof of why you...
I'm saying we don't have a proof. The investigation will establish the proof. but less sentimental overshadow it. Nobody gonna shit it in. I see people just as any common citizen they commit crime, they will investigate you. If anybody sitting at the higher area, you commit a crime, they will give way for investigation to be done. And when that is done, and you are exonerated, you are exonerated. But the tendency of something happening, people want to use political party to see yourself. We're not going to support that. Equally, so we have. If anybody think that you will use human shield to make Liberia ungovernable, we have the capacity to, but we can't do that because this country belongs to us. Our children have to live in peace. Our children have to live in peace. We came from 15 years of war. We are rebuilding our life. You know, right now, if you start any argument moral, violent moral, the first thing here, man, all of those people who doing starting an argument, they all have property. People start running to destroy your property. You don't know who living in your community against you. So this is why we should allow the law to take its course. This is why we should ensure that we have a disciplined police force that will able to adequately use a necessary force to bring situation under control and not to use excessive force as it was in the case of Jangako.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.